Hi, good morning. My name is Michelle Atto. You're tuned into Breakfast Daily on City TV. Good morning.
Namo wakato he, namo wakato he, wablema tasani wakbasa. Namo wakato he. Hi everyone, this is Perez Music. Keep watching Breakfast Daily on City TV.
Daughters of Glorious Jesus, keep watching Breakfast Daily on City TV. Your life will never be the same. God bless you.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to Breakfast Daily on City TV. My name is David Kwekusechi.
And I am Jifa Ekia Amatam. Thank you guys so much for spending your Monday morning with us. And what an honor it has been to start our morning off with Luigi Maclean.
I tell you,
wow.
One of the best current contemporary gospel musicians. He's absolutely incredible. Yeah, and to have him here this morning. When I saw, that he was coming, I was just super excited. Yeah, so it's beautiful music as well.
Yeah, and he will be with us all show long, so we'll try and sneak him in every chance we can so that you enjoy more of him. But it's an interactive show, so wherever you're watching us from, please use the hashtag Breakfast Daily for us to hear from you.
Yes, and we also have a WhatsApp line. It's 0550585832, and you can prefix that with +233 if you're messaging us from outside Ghana.
Well, last night we heard from the president.
Yes, we did.
That's around 7 p.m. A lot of people did not know if we were going to hear from him or not.
Yeah.
And then I think the information minister might have slipped and said we're going to hear from him. And the people were like, what time? And then finally we heard that he was going to address that at 9:30.
Yeah. I know. I think part of the reason, and I'm speculating right now, but I think part of the reason was that he had been in Pedriase Lodge for 3 days, having a high-level cabinet meeting, discussing the way forward in terms of, the fight against COVID-19 and all of that. So I think they probably came back in late and all that. So they delayed it because they weren't sure of what time to give Ghanaians anyway. Definitely. So once they were sure, then they released the
a lot of people were hoping that perhaps we would lift the ban on social gathering. I mean, people have been home. They're like, let's say we want to go to church, we want to go to our mosque, we want to congregate, and because we have on our mask, we're confident enough that we will be able to, respect social distancing and then congregate. But then, the Ghana Medical Association came out with a presser and said, it might not be the best idea right now. And Pastor Osebo as well said he doesn't think this is the time for it.
Actually, I always do on Sunday mornings. I do my service online, and my favorite is the first service. So up bright and early, and we're having the service. And right in the middle of his sermon, just as he was getting to start the sermon, he said, "This is not the time for us to gather as Christians. This is a time for us to." Make sure that we hunker down, do what we have to do to make sure that we defeat this, and then pay attention to all the protocol that is being given to us, and then win this. So I thought somebody of his stature, at his level, with his level of influence, it was very important, for him to publicly make that statement, knowing very well that many people, even outside ICGC, will be listening. I think it was important for him to make that call. And
the president listened, really. So we've officially extended the ban on social gathering till the end of May. Let's hear from the president.
To announce that the ban on public gatherings, as set out in Executive Instrument number 64, has been extended also to the end of the month, i.e. 31st May. So during this period, there will continue to be a ban on public gatherings such as the holding of conferences, workshops, parties, nightclubs, drinking spots, beaches, festivals, political rallies, religious activities, and sporting events. All educational facilities, private and public, continue to remain closed. There's still a ban on funerals, other than private burials conducted with not more than 25 persons. It is noteworthy that the police are arresting and prosecuting persons, irrespective of their status in society, who flout these regulations. We cannot allow a few persons, for their narrow, selfish interests, to jeopardize the health, well-being, and safety of the larger population. If you fall foul of the law, you will face its full rigors.
Yeah, so at this point in time, we are extending, and I think it's a very important call by the president, having listened to all the different people who are commenting and stakeholders who, have expert positions on this. And he said, look, let's extend till the end of the month, till 31st. So that I think that goes along with the border closure as well, and then hopefully by then we'll be on top of things and we can maybe open up.
Yeah, and I think a lot of us have done well so far as complying with, the stay-at-home policy, washing our hands with running water and soap, putting on masks when you step out of our homes. And it's really just for our own good, because we've heard stories of other countries where one person will be positive, they don't know they are positive, they'll attend church service, they'll go partying, and before you know it, it has spread like wildfire. This one patient has now increased the number to like thousands because they've mingled among people, they've also gone around, and we don't have that kind of infrastructure to be chasing people down. I mean, we've done the best we can with the resources we have as far as the contact tracing bit, but we can't afford for it to spread like wildfire.
It's a very, very, very good point that you're making, because the cases in Tema, the fishery factory that had that massive, number, I think it was 533 people in there. It was actually because during the lockdown, they were exempt. Yeah. They were exempt during the lockdown. And so that's how they got their spread. And I think it's so important. We don't take it seriously to the fact that, if you're not, if you're moving around and mingling, it's like in the minds of a lot of people, I look at your face, you don't look sick. How can you possibly pass on anything on to me, right? That's the mistake that we make. And I'm sure in the factory, nobody even had a clue. It's like, oh, we're all mingling, we're working, and we're happy, and we're working. Nobody's thinking about that until the first positive is found. They do the contact tracing, and 533 people are positive. It's crazy, yeah. But I think we should look at our dashboard.
Yes,
and
so
see
one
the
of the
numbers.
things we learned last night was that numbers have gone up to 4,700. So as you're seeing there, okay, this isn't the updated one, but we'll get you the updated numbers. The updated numbers are 4,700. Okay, 4,700 people are officially positive. Yes. And of that 4,700 people, that's actually come from a sample size of 160,501 tests, right? So every time you hear a number like 4,700, you panic because you're like, gosh, it's the end of the world. But when you look at the sample size of over 160,000, then you know that, okay, it's not too bad, right? And we already know the majority of these cases are showing very little to no symptoms at all, which could be a blessing if you're thinking about healing, right? So the fact that you're showing little to no symptoms at all means that there's a slight probability that if you handle it well, if healthcare workers take good care of you, you're going to end up being positive, negative eventually and heal. The bad side to that is you're walking about like a regular human being, especially those who have not yet been tested. So it's easy for you to pass it on. That's why it's so better to walk with the notion that you could be positive and asymptomatic rather than negative. another number here. The recovery is actually 400. So you have it right there, the updated one. 494 recoveries, and of those, sadly, we've lost 22 people. So we've sadly lost 22 people. So the active cases are actually 4,184.
Yeah. So basically, what the president told us was that the backlog has completely been cleared now. What we are getting now, the figures that we're getting now are actually daily figures. You know, so I think for me, that was a very exciting thing to hear him say, that we're actually getting daily figures. I think that it's very important for us to have a good understanding of where it is that we are going with this disease. You know, so if you don't have daily figures, you're never sure what it is that you're handling. You know, and it's like, there's always some numbers from the backlog that we see these numbers just go up and up and up, and yet we're not understanding what exactly is happening. You know, so I think it's important, and it's a good thing where we find ourselves. He mentioned that there are 7 more testing centers have come on
such
stream.
A relief,
You know, 7 more centers have come on stream. So I think that's taken us into a very good place right now, with all the effort that they are doing, providing so many thousands of PPEs, masks, gloves, you know, sanitizers. He went through a whole list, and I was quite impressed. You know, 4 million gloves, 2,500,000 nose masks, 60,000 goggles, 60,000 liters of sanitizer, and so on and so forth. So many, you know, the figures were just incredible to see that so much provision is being made. So all in all, I think that a lot of effort has been made, and where I'm particularly pleased with the fact that we are now receiving daily figures, you know, and that's going to make a big difference in our monitoring of where it is that we find ourselves, you know. So it's a good place that we find ourselves.
Yeah, I completely agree. We have to keep in mind that beyond just, you know, staying safe and keeping on the face mask, washing our hands with running water and soap, we need to take care of our immunity, because we know that that's the one thing we have to beat this virus if we end up being positive. And the president touched on that last night. So let's listen to what he said.
We have to improve our hygiene, our fitness and exercises, our eating, generally our style of living, which will boost our immunity to disease and the virus. For instance, we're told that the key vitamins that fortify our immune system are vitamins A, B6, C, and E. Fortunately for us in Ghana, all of these can be found in many of our foods, such as oranges, kontomire, millet, cashew nuts, crabs, plantain, okra, dawa, brown rice, and mushrooms. Following a good diet, patronizing our healthy foods, exercising regularly, ensuring our personal hygiene, and improving our lifestyle habits should become part and parcel of our daily routines, which will help bolster our immune systems and help us in the fight against the pandemic. Fellow Ghanaians, this virus, as we have seen the world over, is no respecter of persons and has wreaked its havoc on every country on the planet. We can defeat it if we continue to look out for one another.
So there you have it, the president telling us that we cannot take, you know, personal hygiene for granted. We need to eat healthy. We need to exercise. And I think we're fortunate in Ghana because in other parts of the world, it actually costs more to buy fruits and vegetables. It's cheaper to get canned food, you know, meals that are not good for you. But here, you go to your local market, you can get a whole bunch of kontomire for just 2 Ghana cedis. You can get, you know, garden eggs for 3 cedis. And we need to begin to incorporate all these things into our diet. A couple of weeks ago, a friend of ours was telling me that he's so used to eating very little vegetables and the small protein with lots of carbs. That even as adults, when we have a lot of meat and a lot of veggies, we want more carbs for it, right? But we need to get to the point where we understand portions, right? So you get just a bit of your carbs, a bit of your protein, lots and lots of veggies, and then add some fruits to it, then you're good to go.
You know, Akosia Kuniria always joins us to discuss nutrition, right? One of the things that I think we need to remind Ghanaians of is that for a grown man, bigger than my size, okay, bigger than me, you don't need more than a fistful like this of rice a day. You don't. Now, if you eat it, you're intaking excess of what you actually need, right? Now that, if you take the amount that you're supposed to take, is good for your health. If you go beyond that, now you're doing things that are negatively impacting your health.
I mean, they will just store it as fat.
Yes.
That's pretty much.
You know, and one of the things that that does to you is actually, you know, when you tip your weight level, right, it starts to wear down on organs, wear down on the immune system. It just starts to put an undue pressure on your heart and all those things. So you don't want that, you know. So really, what the president is saying is critical. Our immune system, we need to focus, right? Now, the world has been in a war for millions of years against viruses and bacteria. So COVID-19 just happens to be a mutant of something that has been around forever, okay? So when they say, novel coronavirus, it's not actually a new virus as in it didn't exist before, okay? And if you look closely, you will notice that there are certain disinfectants and other things they've written on the bottles, you know, for killing coronaviruses, right? And some of you have been wondering, how can it kill coronavirus when coronavirus just showed up? You know, how come they are making bottles 20 years ago that killed coronavirus? No, coronaviruses have been around for a long time, all right? The issue here is this. We need to understand that this war will never end until the earth is done, okay? The key to winning the battle is your immune system, all right? Now, we will do all the mitigation measures, things like hand washing, things like hand sanitizers, you know, using it. There we go, all right? Sanitize your hands. Make sure that you keep them clean all the time. It's important. But the most important of all the measures you can possibly work hard to implement is to boost your immune system. Why do you think that the majority of people are asymptomatic? They have mild to no symptoms and usually will recover without even recognizing that they even got sick. Because of your immune system. And when your immune system is compromised, then you need help. So you can't get away from it. The most important thing to focus on is your immune system. Like the president said, vitamin C, vitamin B6, vitamin A, vitamin E. I also like to add my own, vitamin D. In the sun, you know, out in your yard, under, you know, just step outside of your door and take a chair, sit down for 20 minutes. That's your vitamin D. Very, very important. As we do these things, our immune system will be in good shape. And this is ultimately what's going to keep us all alive and well.
Yeah. I couldn't have said it any better, right? So it's, of course, difficult to change overnight, but I think we can start by taking small steps. So in the mornings, instead of eating like a big, you know, tea bread and maybe just you eat your more cocoa, you can try out Hausa cocoa and kose. Kose is actually beans, right? So it's good for your health. In the afternoon, you can eat red. Don't pump too much gari into it. Don't put too much of the, you know, fried plantain bit, but you can chop up, you know, avocados, and it's good for you. It will be good for your health. If you have to drink soup, actually drink all the soup.
Yeah.
Don't just eat the fufu and throw the soup away. The goodness is actually in the soup.
Yeah.
You know, and if we begin to do this every single day, before you know it, it's a part of you. You don't have to. If you have 5 cedis, don't go buy 4 cedis kenke and one tiny fish, and you're using that tiny fish to eat all of that carb. You can actually get a bit more of the fish in there. Chop up some more tomatoes, just 1 cedi tomatoes. You can get about 3 or even 2. Add them to your pepper. Be a bit more intentional about the kinds of things you put in your body, because as we said, excess carbs will be stored as fat, and fat is not good for you. Okay, that's how come you end up with all kinds of diseases like diabetes and all these other things, because you are just pumping a lot of carbs into your body, and it will just turn into sugar that your body does not need. And be active, right? Even if it's just 10 minutes in the day, if you're very busy at work, just take 10 minutes out of your day to walk around your neighborhood. Not only is it good for your health, it's even good for your mental health. You're just stepping out of the environment and being outside. If you can walk up and downstairs in your building, whatever you have to do, keep in mind your immunity, because that's the one thing we all have control over. So let's not just listen to the president. Let's find ways to incorporate it into our daily lives, and we'll all be fine.
Yeah, absolutely important. Well, we always have a quote for you at the beginning of the show, so let's take a look at today's quote, and we will continue. Yeah, so Plato, who's a philosopher, says, "We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light." Oh, wow, I like this quote. We can easily forgive a child who's afraid of the dark, but the real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light.
I think a lot of us, especially as adults, we're so afraid of what we can become that we just become content with what we are, you know. And if you have not read The Allegory of the Cave, I think just Google it and read it. It's by Plato, and I think it's important. Whatever is out there is not as scary as we think. Sometimes it's our own imaginary fears that prevent us from becoming the great beings that nature wanted us to become when we were born.
I thought of something when I saw this quote as well, the fact that people don't like exposure because a lot of the times we have hidden in us dishonesty and other dark bits, you know, so we don't like to be exposed to the light. And I thought it's a very important thing to train ourselves to love light, you know, and be honest.
I agree.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to come up with a news review next. My name is David Kwekwesechi.
And I am Jifa Ekia Amatam. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Extra data, extra minutes, and extra unlimited calls. Not just that, even our extra data doesn't expire. Simply dial *111# to bundle now.
Airtel Tigo. Life is simple. Ghana is a beautiful country. There is so much of it you probably haven't seen, haven't experienced, haven't touched, haven't felt, haven't eaten. When this is all over, let's discover our land again with new eyes. Let's feel each other again. We are one people, brought together by destiny. Let's make that count. Let's show love for each other and our environment. Let's tell our stories, and let's watch and listen to our stories. There will be so much to tell. Ghana is a truly beautiful country. Be Ghana, stay in Ghana, experience Ghana, make Ghana great. And we will invite the world to come and experience Ghana too. But for now, Stay Home. Brought to you by the National Film Authority. Supports the Stay Home and Discover Ghana Later campaign. This channel supports the campaign.
God bless our homeland, Ghana.
Welcome back. It's time for the news review this morning. My name is David Kwekusechi. We have a very interactive show this morning. Remember, the hashtag is Breakfast Daily, and the WhatsApp line is 0550-585832. Please use the country code +233 if you're outside Ghana. I'm going to read the headlines that we have here. My guests are already seated in the studio. I'll introduce them to you after we do some online stories as well, and then we'll have a conversation. On the front page of the Finder newspaper, plight of mothers in COVID-19. Pragmatic interventions needed to further their cause, says the First Lady. Government did not share different macroeconomic data with IMF. This is from the Finance Ministry. Don't lift ban on social and public gatherings from the GMA. Excuse me. Ghana's confirmed cases of COVID-19 now at 4,263. Of course, we know that it's been updated since then. On the daily graphic, front page of the daily graphic, ban on public gatherings extended by 3 weeks. COVID-19 cases hit 4,700. All protocols remain in place. Ghana globally celebrated in COVID-19 fight. This is from Dr. Da Costa Abuaje. Armed robbers attack bullion van. Police retrieve 234,000 Ghana cedis. We don't have power to ban media usage. This is the Media Commission. From the front page of the Ghanaian Times, new Manche introduced to Ghana Traditional Council. Don't lift ban on social gathering, GMA to government. Let's fix problems on new Tadi port system, freight forwarders. 2 COVID-19 cases confirmed in Accra police cell as Zoom Lion disinfects and cleans police facilities. On the front page of the Publisher, boy 7 kills brother with dad's gun. Sad story there. Manche at last. Classification committee takes off this week. Ghanaians are stubborn, GMA tells government. Stop Unipass demo hits ports. On the front page of the Daily Statesman, Kabila to CPP members disregard unruly Akwete's call for CC meeting. Hard work will win us December polls. McMenu explains MPP's 3M's 2020 campaign. Heritage and stabilization funds, not Mohammed's idea. MPP exposes more NDC lies. The front page of the Informer, we have COVID-19 real. Mahama advises public. Quality of MPs substandard, says the majority leader. Airbus scandal, Mahama speaks out. Okujeto hints. Akufo-Addo must not bow out. Pressure from selfish clergy. Health experts warn of dire consequences if borders are open and restrictions on mass gatherings lifted. So the headline there is, Akufo-Addo must not bow. Otabil kicks, this is the front page of the Chronicle. Otabil kicks against reopening of churches. This is not a time for churches to consider gathering together in assemblies because the crisis before us is not going down. NDC big shots beg Alote for forgiveness. Consume locally made products. Exim Bank pleads with Ghanaians. Wedded wife and lover boy in the cooler. Mahama has a lot to say on Mills's death. On the front page of the New Crusading Guide, GOG data shared with IMF accurate as factcheckghana.com, a diabolic plot to discredit economy exposed. Bosome Frehon, DCE, backs illegal mining in Bosomtwe Forest Reserve. Occupy Ghana supports extension of COVID-19 restrictions. Will the COVID-19 cost be another budget footnote? Tepe writes. Government losing big time with ICOM's system has no link with DVLA. Reku Brobe, eyewitness to history. Kumi Preko at 25. On the front page of the Economic Times, Ghana Exim targets bond market as it expands investment support to local businesses. Economic activity slows. First National Bank acquires GHL Bank. On the front page of the BNFT, COVID-19 impact. Major crisis awaits banking sector. This is from PwC. Challenges with Unipass linger at Takoradi ports. Minority pushes for temporary suspension. Post-COVID-19, local producers guarantee our survival. Let's not forsake them. This is from the Exim Bank CEO. Ghana Association of Bankers makes more donations from 10 million COVID-19 relief fund. On the front page of the Gold Street Business, reconnaissance licensing crucial for future oil blocks bidding rounds. Ghana and 3 other African countries blacklisted over money laundering. Ghana's e-commerce businesses receive boost as ITC introduces Africa Explorer online tool. Let's do some online stories. And we have on citynewsroom.com. COVID-19, Guta calls for more consultations in management of 600 million Ghana loan scheme. Critics of government's COVID-19 fight doing it for political survival, says Nanado. Akufo-Addo extends ban on public gatherings, religious activities till the end of May. COVID-19, Ghana's case count increases to 4,700. Recoveries are now 494. COVID-19, Bureau of Public Safety cautions government against lifting ban on social gathering. We have on citybusinessnews.com. Economist urges BOG to further reduce policy rate amid COVID-19 troubles. Guta demands modalities for disbursement of 600 million Ghana cedi loan to SMEs. Making group life insurance compulsory in Ghana will cushion employees. Over 270,000 stickers issued electronically through a motor insurance database. This is from the NIC. Money Wisdom Series, how to start a business with no capital or funding. And on my Joy Online, King Taki Teku Chru the Second, outdoored as new Gamanche. And on BBC.com, Ghana extends ban on gatherings. So for more news, kindly visit citynewsroom.com, and for more business news, visit citybusinessnews.com. All right, so we have so many stories there. Today we're going to be talking, dealing with, of course, the most important one, the coronavirus pandemic, but some interesting aspects of it. The ban on public gathering has been extended to the end of the month. Our case count also has risen to 4,700. What does it mean? The numbers are high, but could there be a silver lining in that dark cloud there? NCCE to get 10,000 nose masks as well. Guta is demanding, explanation of the disbursement modalities. So we're going to look and delve into those things, and then hopefully, if we have some more time, we'll discuss the IMF Government of Ghana data that they shared. But my guests are seated in the studio. Remember, the show is interactive, so you can use the hashtag Breakfast Daily for us to hear what you're thinking. And also the WhatsApp line is 0550585832. If you happen to be outside Ghana and watching us, please use the country code +233 to prefix the WhatsApp number. So I'll introduce my guest on my left, Elvis Darko, who is the editor of the Finder newspaper. How are you doing?
I'm good.
I'm well, thank you. Good weekend?
Oh yeah, it wasn't bad. As I said, once I'm working, Sundays is not my weekend. I work on Sundays, so it's a full working day.
Yeah.
Saturday is the only day that
Well, it's good to see you looking nice and healthy and hearty.
Now we thank God in this COVID situation. When you wake up and you are strong, you have to be grateful to God.
Well, that's true. My other guest is also seated, lawyer Kwame Jantoa. He is the former vice chair of PIAC and also a leading member of the CPP. Good morning.
Morning, David.
How are you doing?
I'm very well.
Fantastic. You look well.
Well, God is good. This weekend was Mother's Day.
Yes,
I
it
think,
was.
we all congratulated our mothers for looking after us and continually looking after us even in our old age.
It's true.
So
they never stopped, did they?
They never stopped. They never stopped.
I know.
I remember when, I'm a single boy within 5 girls.
Okay.
So when I do anything wrong, my mother, if you look at me in a certain way, won't do anything. The next thing I see, she'll slap me from the back.
Oh dear.
And so that is what has made some of us
who
you are today.
Well,
so God is good.
It's good to have you
but
here.
You said one thing. Let me
what did I
just
say?
probably correct you if it's a correction. You're talking about the coronavirus, and that has been here for all our lives and is going to be here with us for the rest of our lives. That is true. The only difference is that this is a new strain.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, but you didn't mention that. So
okay, so
I jotted it down.
fair enough. So clarification: viruses mutate on a regular basis.
Yes.
All viruses.
Yes.
It doesn't matter which name they are named by.
Yes.
All viruses mutate. It's the nature of viruses.
Yes.
And that's actually one of the reasons why, for example, HIV took so long to deal with, because it just mutates even faster than regular rate of mutation of viruses.
But with this particular virus, it also mutates differently in people.
Yes.
And that is the danger
yes,
of it.
And it looks as though when it gets into different genetic environments, that, like it crosses borders into another country, it seems to adjust again and so on.
So smart.
Yeah.
But it's called the smart virus.
Well, I wouldn't give it so much credence. Anyway.
You wouldn't give it credence?
No.
When it's killing people?
Well,
anything that kills people, you give it credence so that you overcome it. Exactly.
We will overcome. All right, so let me read to you a couple of stories and then we'll get into the conversation. Akufo-Addo extends ban on public gatherings, religious activities till the end of May. All right. The President Nana Akufo-Addo has extended the ban on the national ban on public gatherings, including religious activities, festivals, and funerals, till the end of May. The extension comes into full force effective Monday, 11th May 2020. That's today. Delivering his 9th national address on the government's fight against COVID-19, he said the closure of schools and ban on public gatherings had created a lot of inconvenience, but for many Ghanaians, but we have no option but to stay the course. Tonight, I have come into your homes, I quote, to announce that the ban on public gatherings, as set out in Executive Instrument 34, has been extended also to the end of the month, i.e. 31st May, President Akufo-Addo said. So during this period, there will continue to be a ban on public gatherings such as holding of conferences, workshops, parties, nightclubs, drinking sports, festivals, political rallies, religious activities, sporting events. All educational facilities, private and public, continue to remain closed. There is still a ban on funerals other than private burials with not more than 25 persons. It is noteworthy that the police is arresting and prosecuting persons irrespective of their status in society who flout these regulations. All right, so the story goes on to tell us the first time the ban was put in place, and then at the end there, the total Ghana statistics. So as at Sunday, May 2020, 9 p.m., Ghana had conducted 160,501 tests with total infections of 4,700 and 494 recoveries. The number of people who have died are 22. Okay, so that's that story there. And the second story is basically the same thing, talking about the recoveries, which I have given you anyway. So let me come to lawyer. 4,700. Are we winning this? Is there a silver lining behind the numbers? What do you make of our current numbers?
Well, good morning to you, good morning to Elvis, and good morning to our viewers. According to what President Akufo-Addo gave us yesterday, when you look at the figures he was talking about, he indicated that around 921.
Yeah. That was earlier.
That was from the, I think, is it 17th of April? And out of that 921, 533 came from a fishing processing factory in Tema.
Yes.
Which was, they got the virus from one person. Now, when you look at the figures, he also indicated that they had now finished the last backlog.
Yes.
7th of May.
And we were down to now doing daily.
Yes, daily.
So Saturday and Sundays were daily figures.
Daily figures.
Yeah.
So we need to look at how between now and the end of the week,
What
the
numbers come in?
increase of these daily figures.
Yeah.
Now, looking at the increase of these daily figures, we also need to be able to target where these increases are coming from.
Yes.
Now, I indicated for us to get the B and FT. If you go to page 11, they have an article in there indicating that Africa's cases are going to increase by 190,000 this year. And they give the statistics. And one of the things they talk about in the article is the lack of testing, lack of kit, lack of adequate hospitals. Now, when you compare this figure to what is happening in Africa today, it's very difficult to see where they're coming from. But does that mean that we have to be cautious? Because as a lot of the world leaders have said, including...
Explain when you say it's difficult to see where they're coming from.
When you juxtapose the numbers that we have today, currently in Africa, and they are saying that this would be for this coming year, it's very difficult to place how this number would come into being. Although they indicate that it's got to do with lack of hospitals, lack of putting measures in place, although they also indicate in the article that a lot of African governments have put lockdown measures and directives in place, social distancing and all that. And they indicate that Africa was one of the last places for the virus to come into. And so they feel that going forward, we haven't peaked yet, and we will peak going forward in this year. And they estimate that 190,000 cases would come up in Africa. I find it difficult to put together. But, but having said that...
Well, Kwame, to put it in perspective, today the entire continent's cases stand at about 63,000. So 190,000 is actually not too far-fetched.
Wow.
You know, so...
Maybe so.
We're doing 63,000 at the moment.
Maybe so. Maybe so. But then that's a huge caution to us.
It is.
Huge caution to us. What then do we do to make sure that we don't get to that figure, or we start bringing the 63,000 down? And I think it's got to do with testing. How we test is also the challenge. Do we do spot checks? Do we aggressively go into communities? Do we do how we're doing it now? And so it is something that is the next phase that we should all sit down and see how best we can do. Because we have risen from, is it March 2nd? Was it March 2nd?
March 12th.
Was it March 12th?
March 12th, yeah. Two.
We started
the first two. Yeah.
So between March 12th and April 11th, we have gone up.
Or May 11th.
May 11th. We've gone up, even till today. Gone up what?
Over 4,000.
Over 4,000.
700, yeah.
However, when you compare similarly to Rwanda, where they also put their measures in around the same time we did, they have gone up by only 400 and something, and they haven't experienced any deaths. So for me, I would like African governments to be comparing notes, so that we have a concentrated effort, because one country can get out of COVID-19, another country can still be in it, it will still affect all of us. So the case is for all of us to sit and find a solution to it. But I think...
Don't you think Rwanda is a peculiar case, though?
Why
in terms of the way their system is run and all of that?
No. The thing that happened with Rwanda is that the moment they heard COVID-19 had gotten to Africa, they put in stringent measures.
Yes.
You can't even...
I'm referring to the level of stringent measures if it's something that is applicable across the rest of the continent.
Well, if we can, if it's applicable to Rwanda, why can it not be applicable to us?
You don't have a Paul Kagame everywhere.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether it's a Paul Kagame or not.
It doesn't?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
I wonder what Elvis thinks of what you're saying.
The major challenge with COVID-19 is death. And you don't need a Paul Kagame to tell you that this thing is killing. So leaders together, whether you're Paul Kagame, whether you're Nana Akufo-Addo, whether you are Egyptian Prime Minister or President, we need to have a concerted effort in how we handle this. Yes, Paul Kagame could be described as a different leader in terms of some of his, and if I can use the word, the dictatorial ways of ruling. But he put the measures in place from the word go. Before you even leave your house, you need to fill a form as to where you're going. You take your car number and make sure that where you're going is essential. Otherwise, they won't let you go.
Okay. I'll come back to you. We will continue this here. But Elvis, let me have you give a stab at this before we do our first break. Then we'll come back and continue. So, what are your thoughts of the numbers so far?
Well, as for the numbers, I keep saying it. If you study the disease, for countries that are doing aggressive testing, obviously you see the figures going up.
Yeah.
The cases, you see, WHO says that test, isolate and treat.
Yeah.
That is the key word of the WHO. We are having countries who have taken that advice and are doing the test, isolate and treat. We have our countries who are not really prioritizing testing.
Yeah.
They always sit for people who are sick to report and come to hospital. So sometimes when you are trying to compare one country's figure to another, it becomes difficult because you want to ask, what is the level of testing in that country compared to the other one that you are comparing to?
Yeah.
Because if you look at Ghana, that we are saying we are down 160,000. Ghana is just 30 million population.
It's by far the highest per million.
Look at Nigeria, South Africa, Egypt. Look at these countries that are so huge with people. What is the number that they have tested? So for me, I think that once the numbers going up is an issue we all have to discuss. We should also be grateful that our government is not behaving like other governments. That we have decided that we will take the bull by the horn. It is better to test, get the positive case, isolate them and treat them, than for us to sit down and people should be walking around with the disease not knowing we say we have a lower figure. So for me, the high numbers, if I compare to a place like Germany, compared to a place like the US, UK, Russia, other countries which have done aggressive testing, you will see the figures. In fact, Russia, for the past 6 days, consistently for the 6 days, each day they were recording not less than 10,000 cases. So within 6 days, they have had more than 60,000 cases of infections. Okay? So for me, once we are trying to look at our figures going to 4,000, maybe 5,000, 6,000, I would prefer that we do the more aggressive testing, identify those who have the disease, isolate them, and save the rest of the society and treat those that have been found, and we are all safe. As I said, my focus is about death and recoveries, not the numbers going up. Because if we have even 20,000 people and they don't die and they will recover and go home, it's not much of a worry to me. The key problem is about when people are dying. So my focus is more on death than the actual number going up. Look at this, we are talking about one company with...
Hold on, we'll come and address I think you're going to talk about the fishes issue, right? Yeah, so we'll get into that.
I don't want to give that example to explain that issue.
We'll get into that after the break, okay? All right. So let's take a short break. We'll be right back and continue the conversation.
It's here, the Express Pay app. More social, more power, more services. Experience a cooler way of payments with exciting new features. Want to go social? Upload a cool image to add a personal feel to your account. Payments are even more seamless with an enhanced process. Mark some accounts as favorites so they are super easy to access. Even cooler, view payment due dates and check remaining balances for your favorite accounts. Want to repeat a payment? Do that right from the History tab. Have all your money in one place with a sleek look and feel. Bank Direct has had an awesome makeover. You can now send money instantly to 22 banks and counting. Express Pay, payments simplified.
Welcome back from that break. It's news review on Breakfast Daily. My name is David Kwekusechi. The show is interactive, so kindly use the hashtag Breakfast Daily to let us hear what you're thinking. And the WhatsApp line is 0550585832. If you happen to be outside Ghana, kindly use the country code +233. My guests, who are Kwame Jantwa and Elvis Darko, are with me, and we'll be having this conversation. Elvis was making a point. We'll go back to Elvis to conclude his point. Yes, Elvis.
Yeah, and I'm giving an example of the company where one person is said to have contracted, and now we are talking about 530 people in that same company.
Yeah. 33.
So you can imagine that if there was a decision that, okay, COVID has come, where higher population is where this thing happens. So companies with higher population, we are going to test everybody maybe a month ago.
Yeah.
Probably that single individual would have been identified and isolated.
Yeah.
And will not be talking about 533 today. So for me, the aggressive testing is the
way to
critical
go.
thing we need to go. And thank God we have gone through our challenges. Now we started getting daily cases. And I think that is where we should all be proud of, that even though we were unprepared, and the disease came, and there was so much pressure on Noguchi that he had to be running 24/7 a shift system to be able to test the backlog of this. And now we are gotten a level where now we are going to get on daily basis. This, for me, is good news, because then this controversy surrounding whether we are at peak or not, for me, I think it will be settled easily once we are getting our daily cases. As far back as April 22, the EDC, which is the Disease Control Center for Europe, published a report in which 20 countries as of April 22 has reached their peak. But if you compare the figures that they had at the time they reached their peak and the figures as of today, huge increases.
Wow.
So it does not mean that when you reach your peak, figures will not go up. But what I've realized is the same procedure we are using, which is new infections to determine peak, was the same procedure that the EDC has used.
Okay.
They've not used death, they've not used recoveries. They used new infections to determine peak. And if you look at the peak, in fact, some of the countries after peak, they recorded figures that are almost close to the peak figure. They recorded figures so close to the peak figure. But then, it's all after this, just keep on zigzag until they started going to levels where you think that now it's under control. So for me, the issue of peak at April 25th, it's not issue that we should even be worried about. My concern is once we begin to get the daily figures, and then we begin to get the daily figure, we'll begin to get to the real issues we want to. So for me, I'm happy that finally we are able to open up other labs that have reduced the pressure on the Gucci, and now we can get the daily figures. We should all understand that, look, no matter what we do, the only solution to this disease now is about keeping social distancing and following the safety protocols. There's no medicine that is said to be, this is the bullet cure anywhere in the world. Germany wanted to open their football league last week, Sunday. When they reopened their economy, they realized figures started skyrocketing. So they have to pull that on break. They said they will start this weekend. Just yesterday, 2 players in one Division 2 club tested positive. They've asked the whole team to go into isolation for 14 days. So there's doubt whether the league will actually kick off next week if you are asking the whole team to isolate for 14 days. Well, are you going to start the league without them so that they will come and join or what? So we should understand this disease is proving so difficult for any country to deal with.
Yeah.
The factory in Tema is not a surprise to me. If you follow the case in America, they said because people have to eat, meat processing companies were in business.
Yeah.
They recorded 700, 800 positive cases in meat processing companies in America. One company, 800. One company, 600. One company, 700. So when I heard about this, I said, this is not new. This is something that's already happened somewhere.
Yeah.
I think that while we are looking at our cases, we are all alarmed because this is a disease that is difficult to control. But we should also, when we look at what is happening in other countries across the globe, you realize that nothing is happening here is new or is unique because it is happening elsewhere already.
Yeah.
And we should understand that if we want life to be comfortable for us, we must all obey the rules. I'm just shocked that Saudi Arabia has decided they are going to triple their VAT. They are going to triple VAT. And they are going to reduce the relief payment they are making to citizens because oil prices have gone so low. And oil is their main source of revenue.
Yeah.
And they are not making money. So they are tripling VAT in these circumstances and cancelling relief payment to citizens. And I'm like, ouch. Jesus Christ. So you see, the thing can cripple your country to the level that the relief that your government is even giving you, it can't continue. So please, let's not be listening too much to all kinds of divergent views. Let's follow the facts. Let's obey the rules. And let's live a life that will help all of us to have this disease under control. Anything less than that, the numbers will keep going up. Shouting about the number is not what will bring it down. Observing the protocols is what will bring it down. So we should observe the protocols.
What I find interesting for both of you, is the fact that, you know, the spread in the fish factory was actually during the lockdown, which actually suggests the importance of the lockdown that we did. Because if we hadn't done the lockdown, can you imagine what else would have happened in the system? And then maybe, and if we had extended a little further, I don't know, we could have done something.
But were they working during the lockdown?
They were exempt.
They were working because,
as I said, all food places were.
Just like in America where they were exempted and the meat processing factories were having the figures. The point is that, see, lockdowns are to break because of
the interaction,
the interaction.
To limit
that is the
people
important.
get in touch.
It's not working for everybody. India has, apart from China, India is the country that has the next most draconian lockdown. But in lockdown is where India's figures are quadrupling. So you see, it's not in every lockdown situation that works. You see, in America and UK where lockdown works, it's because of the way the system is built. They have
so many facilities.
I'm not surprised India is having this problem because India has over 9 million people living in slums. So if you have a 9 million population who are living in slums, who can't get food and have to be fighting each other to get free food that is being distributed, it will happen.
Spread of disease.
I'm not surprised that our numbers are going up. Because if you look at the time we did lockdown and we're giving free food, look at the crowds, look at what we were seeing on television because people want to get food. So look at the communities that are having the infections now. Go and check where the positive cases are coming from. You will see that these are the communities that we were going on to distribute food and people were fighting each other, mingling all over. So let's all obey the protocols.
All right, fantastic. The NCCE is to get 10,000 nose masks and cash for COVID-19 sensitization. This is coming from the president. Let me quickly read that story to you. The president, Nana Akufo-Addo, has announced a special package for the National Commission for Civic Education, NCCE, to aid in the country's COVID-19 fight. According to the president, the government will, on Monday, May 11th, provide the commission with 10,000 locally produced nose masks and cash to enable it effectively carry out its responsibilities as a state agency. Addressing the nation in his 9th COVID-19 update on Sunday, he said this is to, among other things, improve the capacity and resource constraints of the NCCE. So, Elvis, good news?
I think that one of the best news I've heard so far, and I even think that it's even coming very late. Because I think that one of the critical solutions to COVID is about getting people the right information and dedication.
Yeah.
Truth is that there are many places people still don't have a clear message of what is happening. And even the protocols, there are many people who don't have a clear understanding.
Yeah.
Over this weekend, I traveled to my village. They were supposed to have some funeral. And by 8 a.m., they had gone to bury the person. Now, so why this early burial? So they said that is what they are supposed to do, so they will be arrested by the police. Now, so the president didn't say that.
Yeah.
The president said that you should not have more than 25 people.
Yeah.
But the president didn't say they'll bury the person 8 a.m. or 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. They said that's what they were told. They were told that if they don't do it, police will arrest them. Okay, so you realize
that's
that
misinformation.
So we need the NCC to be able to do this for the people to have a clearer understanding of this. So for me, it is the best news I've heard so far. I wish, in addition to the NCC, the Information Services Department will also get similar support so that they can team up with the NCC to be able to give the public a better education on the issue. So
there was an extra 5,000 PPEs that was going to members of the media. Maybe they should have given that to Information Services Department.
Well, I know that Information Services, in fact, for even the communication gadgets and their vehicles, we know that we have denied. Actually, we abandoned our institution for so many years, so they have a lot of infrastructure problems. So if we can support NCC, if we can give some support to ISD, so that they can team up, to be able to do the because I think that both of them have the same mandate.
Yeah.
Information services to give information to the public, NCC to educate the public. So if the two of them, the little resources they have, it may be if ISD may have 50 cars or 20 cars, maybe NCC may have 30. If they combine it and they combine their staff strength and they combine other resources they have, I think that they can reach more places. So I wish that there will be that collaboration between NCC and ISD in terms of the education so that we can get to more people, especially in rural communities.
Kwame, your thoughts on the PPE provision?
Yeah, just before I go there, the reference that I made with regards to the WHO and the 190,000.
Yes.
How much? What figure did you give for Africa?
63,325.
That's infections.
That's cases, yes. Total number of cases, yes.
This 190,000 is not cases.
It's what?
It's deaths.
Ah, okay.
It's deaths. And they maintain that nearly...
so our current deaths is 2,200.
For the first year, yes, 190,000 deaths. And infections will range between 29 and 44 million.
Wow.
That's a huge...
But that's if we do nothing.
That is if we do nothing.
Yeah.
But I have a problem with the WHO. See, in US, in UK, in advanced countries, see, a dead body cannot be buried without a coroner's report. So at all times, every dead body, whatever killed you, must be established before you are buried. In our part of Africa, how many dead bodies do we have a coroner's report to state that this person died from this?
Killed them.
People died and we buried them without even any report. So some of these figures, I think they are basing on assumptions that we can determine the death of everybody that we bury in Africa, like it is done in advanced countries. But I don't think that we can do that. And the rate of spread, if you look at what is happening, even if you are not testing more, if you are not testing more, that I have agreed. By now, we should have been seeing people dying at a very high rate.
Yeah.
I am now having a belief that being in the tropics may be playing a role in slowing down the infections. And I've also read that Europe and America seem to be having a strain of the virus that is mutating faster than other parts of the world. So they are having more impact. The severity of the virus in UK and Europe and America is higher than other parts of the world. That is another study that has been done. So it means that probably the strain of the virus that is in Africa might not be the severe type that is in Europe and in America. So I don't think that some of these their projections are going to really happen. If they're going to happen, 1 month into what we have seen so far, if I'm comparing to what happened in Italy, if I'm comparing what happened in Spain, if I'm comparing what happened even in Germany and UK and now America, by now the situation in Africa should have been becoming very alarming. But with all the things I've seen so far, I don't think that we are there. Because if you read the African CDC report, the previous report and the one they released on the 5th of May, in fact, the one they released on the 5th of May actually shows a drop in both infection and death rates in Africa compared to their previous report, which will mean that the disease is actually receding in Africa compared to where it started in terms of the percentages. So I think the WHO may be doing this based on certain assumptions, but then they are not comparing those assumptions to the reality on the ground in Africa. And I think that we should not be too much alarmed about the WHO figures. We should be alarmed about countries that are not doing much to do testing. For me, I think that is where we should even be focused on, not about they predicting death.
But David, equally, I think with COVID-19, every country is specific about deaths. Any death that happens from COVID-19, I believe will be recorded, even those with comorbidity. And so based on that, I'm sure we'll be able to have some precise figures of deaths in Africa specific to COVID-19. So maybe, yes.
No, that's the one that they identified.
Just a minute. Maybe what Elvis is narrating could be right. However, it should be cautious for all of us. We shouldn't take our foot off the pedal. Yes, it's important to test, as I've already said. We've got to test as much as we can. As I've sometimes suggested, we need to have test booths everywhere, dotted everywhere, where we can put people off the street and test. Because it shows that testing helps in identifying where this virus is. However, we shouldn't make chicken feed of any figures that come out. It should be used as a caution to be able to do what we need to do and do it right. Because the end result is deaths. And for me, if one person dies, especially Africa and the kind of culture we have, one person dies, it affects more than 15, 20 people. And so that is where the key should be. Yes, gladly, we haven't recorded the kinds of deaths we've seen in other countries in the West and in Europe. Let's keep it at that. But we need to be able to be cautious not to allow these figures to rise. Now, to go to NCCE, Madam Josephine Nkrumah has been shouting from the top of the trees for years now with regards to how NCCE has been handled. It looks as if government have now gotten to them, and yes, it's a good thing that they are giving them 100,000 domestically produced face masks. Now, at the time before this happened, Madam Nkrumah indicated to us that they had only 2 information vans.
Yes, I heard that.
In addition to those 2 information vans, the Church of Pentecost gave them 12. And so with this new input, it would help them also expand the work that they do. And rightly so. Apart from testing, the next visible thing, in fact, it even comes before testing, the next thing that needs to be done and done very, very well is education. People need to understand. Unfortunately, our schools are not working. Our universities are not working because it would be a good place where children could be educated in what to do where COVID is concerned. And I do agree with Elvis when he talks about the Information Services Department. Not only the Information Services Department, we should see the Ministry of Information too putting their power behind both the NCC and the Information Services Department. We should also see the structure that they use in educating so that people become aware. It's not just a question of being given money and being given accoutrements and all that, and people don't know exactly what you're doing, because we don't want 1 month down the line, we come and sit here and ask the question, so NCC, all these things they gave them, the money and the domestically produced face masks, what did they do? Because we don't see people adhering to some of these protocols that are going on. So it's a good thing, and let's give government the kudos for doing that. At least it will help ginger them and help get them back onto their feet.
Okay, fantastic. Just to put some figures into perspective, the Ghana death rate is that is the number of people who are dead vis-a-vis divided by the number of cases, total cases, is at 0.4% right now, 0.45% right now. The U.S. is 10 times that. It's actually at 4.4%. You know, so I think that for me,
don't forget population size.
No. So that's fair enough, because you're looking at cases, total cases so far versus those who have died out of the cases. You see, that's the comparison I'm doing. So yes, you may have 150 million versus 30 million, but I'm looking at number of total cases versus the people who have died in that number, and their percentage, the death rate is far higher.
But you see,
than
David,
ours.
You see, this is the danger. This is the danger. The danger is that when we make such analysis, and it gets into the minds of people,
you think people will relax?
They'll say, that's
well, no. I think for me, I'm more interested.
Last week, you know what happened in Obuasi?
Tell me.
Obuasi is the highest area for COVID-19 infections in the Ashanti region.
Yes.
The Obuasi people were saying that it is not true. So they are not going to adhere to the protocols being put down. And it has been a struggle for those people who are, making sure that things happen. There's been a struggle to convince them. So it goes to show that if we don't educate and educate more, irrespective of whether one person dies or two people die, what is in the mindset of the people will still maintain. I mean, I went to my barber's shop yesterday, and nobody was wearing a face mask.
I mean, everybody was wearing face masks.
So I asked the question. That's the question. They normally do, but yesterday, nobody. I asked the question, why isn't anybody wearing a face mask? Oh, Allah, it won't happen here. I said, Allah has got nothing to do with whether it will happen here or not. You've got to maintain the protocols to drop the number of infections. And as easy as it is to infect, it is the impact is so devastating. When you look at this, they say just wear a face mask, wash your hands, which is a very easy thing to do. But the moment it gets into your body, it destroys you.
All right. You sent in so many messages to us here on the show, so I'm going to read as many of them as I can, and then we'll do one more topic and we wrap up. Okay, so Ghanaians are difficult people. Directives have been given that we should wear face masks, and people are refusing to put it on. When you come to Ashaiman and Tema, you will wonder what is going on. People are not putting on the nose mask, especially the commercial drivers. The police must enforce the law. This is Abeku from Tema. Abeku, thank you very much for that. To all the drivers in, commercial drivers in Tema and Ashaiman area, please, you need to be more responsible, okay, and do the right thing. Xavier from Kaswa says, I don't understand why the numbers keep skyscraping. I think the word you're looking for is skyrocketing. Even in a lockdown and a ban on public gatherings. Are these protocols really working? Well, we are not in lockdown anymore. So the measures that have been put in place are for us to wear our face masks to put a barrier between us and others, okay, and then also keep social distancing. I think it's very important. But you're right, Xavier. The issue really is that a lot of people don't think the disease is real, and some people also don't think it's as bad as we're making it out to be, and that's why the numbers keep going up. This is from Citizen Francis. An excellent decision by the president for an extension, for extending the ban on public gatherings. Lifting the ban at this time would only aggravate and compound the situation. COVID-19 cannot be defeated if we are to live our normal kind of lives. The battle is to be won. If the battle is to be won, we are all expected to play our role. Measures by the government should be strictly followed if we want to defeat coronavirus. Wolanyo Yakutia says, it's quite disturbing. And we are here in a country where I don't care attitude has become a normal practice. Lest we forget, COVID-19 is a matter of life and death. We should all fight individually to bring the rapid rising numbers to a standstill by respecting protocol and putting on personal protective equipment. All right. It says here, no matter how good the chicken dances, it will not be nice to the hawk. Thank you. I like that. I like that. Charles Nyame from Samankasi says, to Mr. President, whose update last night was full of political innuendos. What then can he say about political actors who see nothing wrong with more people getting the disease and dying? Okay, I'm not sure I'm making too much. I don't understand your message clearly. Okay, let me just read a couple more. Good morning to you and your panelists. All right, good morning to you. I am Medrock from Wale Wale in the Northeast region. I like the show. Good morning to you and your panelists. All right, so thank you for all the messages that you sent in. There's a few more, but we need to do the last story quickly. Let me just quickly read that story from citybusinessnews.com. Guta demands modalities for disbursement of 600 million. Government to come out with its modalities for the disbursement of the 600 million Ghana City loan scheme for small and medium scale enterprises. The association says the nature of the operations of its members, there are huge numbers and capital needs require that they have a fair idea of government's plan and further details to help them decide. In a statement issued by the association, the president, Dr. Joseph Obeng, said, "We wish to bring to the attention of the government that a stimulus package being presented to us is very confusing. It does not state the intended target, threshold, adequacy of the fund, and modalities of disbursement." All right, so let me just quickly let you have a stab at it for 1 minute. We don't have time.
Yes, I know. Just to add something to what we're talking about. You know, we were saying that the virus seems to mutate differently in different parts of the world.
Yes.
That also goes to say that the vaccines that are going to be produced might work in certain parts of the world and might not work in other parts of the world. So it's up to Africa to study the virus here and come up with our own vaccines. Now, with regards to Guta, I think one of the things they are looking at is that they would want government to form a committee where they'll be part and parcel of that committee because they know the people and the companies who would who would apply for this thing. They're talking about nearly 200,000 people, small scale, micro and medium scale businesses that are affected. And again, the big elephant in the room is that they should avoid partisanship in terms of how they distribute it. So let's see what government comes up with, and let's make sure that it is done to the benefit of
I'm sure there'll be a response on Tuesday, that's tomorrow, by the Ministry of Information on that. Yes, your thoughts?
And to add to the vaccine, that is why the vaccine manufacturer is saying that there's the need to do trials in Africa. Because the way you react to the vaccine will differ from what the other people react.
Everybody is always doing something as a conspiracy.
Do it in Africa. We can also
do any form of trial in Africa. So they will do the vaccine to work for us.
Yeah, so let us do ours too. Let us do ours.
Who is doing something?
Let us do ours too.
I think this thing we just have to understand. I don't know why sometimes things are difficult. Okay, anyway, because we don't have data. Okay, normally we don't work with data in this country, so that's the problem. When Trump said he was going to give checks to businesses, were they calling the business the White House? They just go to the IRS. They say, if the person pays taxes, even the individual checks went to people who have filed their taxes for last year. It's about if the businesses pay their taxes and the records are there. This should not be something that we should be haggling over. It's not only for Guta members. There's somebody who is also on the tabletop
who are not part of Guta,
who may not be part of Guta, who also needs it. So we shouldn't look at it as something that is for Guta. But the basis that will determine fairness will be what data are we using.
Okay, we have to go. Thank you very much. I want to say a big thank you to my guests, lawyer Kwame Jantua and to Elvis Darko. Thank you very much for watching this segment of the show. And there's so many messages that you sent through. I'm really grateful that you did. And we're coming with the next segment. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be very interesting and exciting. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
There is no promise we cannot keep. There is no commitment we cannot honor. There is no delivery we cannot guarantee. There is only one Bethel Logistics Company Limited, a licensed international freight forwarding and clearing agent, a trusted global brand with an extensive network for the movement of air freight and ocean freight worldwide. We are the trusted name for road freight into Western and Northern Africa. We are fully accredited by Ghana Customs and Excise. We cater for all your freight forwarding, customs clearing and forwarding, cross trades, inland transportation, internal cargo tracking systems, customer freight costing and consultancy, cold chain logistics management, logistics and warehousing, quality inspection, and much more. In Accra, Tema, and Takrady, we are always available to ensure easy movement of cargo countrywide. Call us on 0204 528 900 or 0244 707 859. Email info@bethellogistics.com. Locate us in Accra at North Ridge, adjacent Accra Girls High School, or in Tema at Community 4, or in Takrady on the second floor of the GCB building. Website bethellogistics.com. Bethelog, experts in shipping logistics.
There is nothing as hard as a diamond. For buildings with superior strength that withstand all weather conditions, Diamond Cement should be your preferred choice. Locate Diamond Cement nationwide with factories in Aflao, Takrady, and Bupe. Diamond Cement, as hard as a diamond.
There are those with untold stories, unraveled feats, life-changing stories, and lasting legacies. They tell their stories themselves right here on Footprints.
So we go to someone, we were put in our various cells, and then someone you have it's a huge prison, and then it was then that it dawned on me that I was really in big trouble.
Do you think that the overthrow of Liman was justified?
I think that with hindsight, there was no justification.
Be inspired by their hard work and resilience that led to those outstanding achievements as we trace their footsteps through the capsule of time.
Because of my upbringing, my mother, my father, they are, Christianity.
Yeah.
So because of that, I
strong
feel
hands
strong.
at home.
Even though I'm the guy smoking, doing all kinds of that, I've never tried.
You've never tried?
No, never tried weed or anything. Nothing.
You've never tried weed?
Even drinking, alcohol, no.
Why should you people put everything, Kwame. Everything was done before Nkrumah arrived in the country.
No, aho ni leba ye.
Aho never ye.
So join me, Samuel Atamensa, and my guests every Saturday at 9 a.m. and Sundays at 4 p.m. only on City TV.
Footprint is sponsored by Ethel Logistics Company Limited, experts in shipping logistics.
Lord of the earth, nothing's too hard for you to do. Alpha, Omega, beginning and the end. All of creation cries out your name. Say, God of heaven, Lord of the earth, nothing's too hard for you to do. Alpha, Omega, beginning and the end. All of creation cries out your name. You are amazing, God. You are amazing, God. You are amazing, God. You are amazing, God. Say, Lord of creation, you made the mountains, you made the valleys and the sea, seasons and times, creatures great and small, you made them all by the power of your word. Awesome wonder, Lord of creation, you made the mountains and the sea. Everything that we see, everything that we see, you made them all, You are amazing, God. You are amazing, God. You are amazing, God. Father of the world, words cannot describe you. Amazing, amazing, amazing. You're amazing, amazing. Say you are amazing, God. You are amazing, 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 amazing. You are amazing, God. You are amazing, 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 amazing. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are amazing, God. You are amazing, God. Papajibo, oh fefe, yeah, boti minyumo, oh fefe.
So pour into me till I'm restored. Breathe into me. Now I am free. Hey, I'm Michelle McKinney Hammond. Keep watching Breakfast Daily on City TV.
Wine crying me now would do me say ye. Sammy Jean when you nyamwa minto mintia secra. Yo, that's your man, Minister Paulo. Keep watching Breakfast Daily on CTTV. Bless you.
Here to do my thing. Oh, so come and watch me win. What's up, guys? It's your girl Rochelle Blue, and you guys need to keep watching Breakfast Daily on City TV.
Welcome back. It's Breakfast Daily on City TV. Thank you so much for staying with us. Now, by popular request, we are going to replay a conversation we had with Akosia Konedu Yadom some weeks ago about nutrition and your vagina. So we'll take a look at that conversation and continue the show.
The vagina. I have been joined by our nutritionist, state-registered nutritionist. He is Akosia Konedu Yadom. Good morning, Akosia.
Good morning, Kweku.
How are you?
I'm also yourself.
Oh, I'm very good, thank you. We're going to have a fun conversation this morning.
I tell you.
Yeah. So now tell us, how important is what you eat, you know, in relation to a woman's vagina?
Okay, so to start with, I'll say that nutrition is part of us. We eat every day, and definitely what enters our body has a way of influencing certain things in our bodies. Yes, and so the vagina naturally has to be within a certain pH. And from the chemistry, the
okay, so the acidity of the vagina?
It's the acidity, yes, well done. But you can find it being in range. You can have it in a neutral form. You can have it being more alkaline. And I know as the conversation progresses, we'll get there. So due to factor A or B, it can alter the pH of a vagina. That is, the vagina is supposed to be acidic, like you said, in pH. You can have it being slightly acidic, but when it is going so higher or becoming more alkaline, then it means that it's something of concern. But you know, we will get there, because the male, when it comes to sex, the male semen is also alkaline, and the pH of the vagina has to be basic. But let's go it down. This is just intro, so maybe your questions will bring them out. But it is very important that we feed our bodies with the right nutrients based on our age. So you realize that for the pH of a woman menstruating like myself, between 15 to 45, that is just within the childbearing age, yes, the normal or healthy pH for our vagina or the vagina has to be up to 4.5. So it's between 3.8 to 4.5. And in some cases, they can give you the range, they can give you extra gap, so up to 7. But when you find it going way above 7, then there's a reason to be concerned. When it's going lower or way acidic, then it means that it might affect even a woman when it comes to her reproduction, because sperms from the man wouldn't survive in a highly acidic pH. So for women with fertility issues, it's about time you probably see your gynecologist and see a nutritionist or a dietitian to help you best know how to solve these things, because some of them are as a result of a few things that are going wrong. We don't sometimes listen to our body, something I keep saying here. So you are itching, you have this pungent, it's too harsh, but let me use it. It's kind of fishy or fish scented. Yes, from down there you are kind of, there is this what you call it, release of certain fluids. Discharge. Thank you so much. You don't pay attention to what you think it's normal. Yes, certain things might be normal, but if something is coming from you and the smell is different from what is normal, then it means that there is a reason for you to be concerned. If you are itching, it's not a normal thing. You shouldn't be itching so much that you can kind of try to solve it by having small bruises. We need to pay attention to our bodies and make sure that if you are of childbearing age, we fall under this pH, and make sure we are doing things to keep our bodies or our vajayjay in check. Some people are saying it's too hard.
So tell us, what foods affect the vagina in terms of making them too acidic?
Okay, so to start with, we always sit here preaching a balanced meal or a healthy diet. So we need to eat healthy foods. And I don't know if the images are ready, but there are various foods that makes our bodies more acidic. Some will end up, the acidic ones means you are getting sick. Please, is our images ready? If you can have them on our screen. And then we have it being alkaline, a little bit, not too much. You know, too much of everything is bad. It should be within the range we spoke about. Then it means that it is a healthy pH, yes. So for some of the alkaline-rich foods, please, can we have our images?
No, we don't
have it. Okay, so for the alkaline foods, we have lemons, we have cucumber, we have pineapple, watermelon, we have kiwi, we have parsley, papaya. So you realize that most of the fruits and vegetables we have, that's what I'm saying, if you are eating a healthy food and making sure that you are putting into practice most of the things we sit here to talk about. Almost every conversation, Jifa is telling me to plan breakfast, how a breakfast should look like, a healthy brunch or snack should be like, a healthy lunch, a healthy supper. If you are following all these protocols and making sure that everything you are eating is meeting the 4-star diet criteria as specified by the Ghana Health Service, for instance, it means that you are pumping a lot of goodness into the pH and making it more acidic. So for some of those foods too, I will quickly go through what I have. Yes, we have white bread. So you realize that we always sit here preaching wholemeal bread. Yes, something that has a lot of fiber in them. So let us cut down on the processed foods, because some of these things end up making our vajayjay more acidic, yes, than it has to be.
So white bread is a culprit.
Yes, alcohol too. Acidity. We have a lot of refined sugar. It's sugar, but I would say refined sugars, because if I'm using honey, if I'm using, let's say, a sweetener, or if I'm using dark brown sugar from a good source, and I know that this is really authentic, it means that I wouldn't be exposing myself to some of these things, colas and sodas. So we know the cola drinks, a lot of them has to do with the carbonated drinks. Yes, so they affect it. And then we have mild acidities that has to do with meat. We need them, legumes, nuts, and dairy products. For some research work, they are strictly against dairy products, saying that it really can make the woman's vajayjay very acidic, yes. And if you are a woman in childbearing age and you would want to pick seed, then it means that yes, you have to cut down, not totally avoid, because I don't know how you can take milk from me. Some people, our breakfast, we enjoy most of our breakfast with a ham. So if you have a more acidic pH as far as your vagina is concerned as a woman, then men, you need to pay attention, because sometimes some of these things are the reasons why baby is not coming. Yes, it's a thing. We are talking about vajayjay, but once you're a man, you definitely will have a feel of it if you are to be married. Yes. So we have sickness if it's more acidic. Yes. So it doesn't mean that it shouldn't be acidic. It doesn't also mean that it should be more alkaline. There is this neutral, the 7
in the middle, where the green is.
Yes. So where the green is, it means that you should make sure that you are not getting too much of the acid, yes, because if you find yourself in this range, this diagram doesn't is not talking to you. But if you have a lot of these foods we've mentioned, cola, beer, cheese, alcohol, what do you call it, burgers, then it means that you are making your pH more acidic as far as your vajayjay is concerned. And then if you have a healthy, what we consider as healthy has to do with somebody who is taking a lot of fruits and vegetables, especially from the citric family, and constantly keeping your body hydrated. It's very, very important. Yes. So we have
different
some food items also on our chart.
Talk us through what
we have strong acid food. We spoke about some of them: alcohol, white bread, colas and sodas with sugar is greatly under strong acid, and that is red. So red means kind of danger. And then we have the mild, that is in between the yellow and the green. We have, that's mild acid. I think this one will pass for how a healthy vajayjay is supposed to be. Between the blue and then the lemon green, those two. So you have legumes, you have nuts, you have dairy, we have almonds, we have avocado. I love avocado, it's always doing good. And then we have vegetables, fruits, being the mild alkaline. And then we have the strong alkaline, where you have some of cayenne pepper, you have some other food ingredients. So make sure that whatever you are consuming, we should really be paying much attention to some of the things we are using.
So in that chart that we just saw there, would I be right in saying that we should avoid the extremities?
Yes.
So the things in the extremities, we should avoid them as much as possible.
If you can, because you realize that some people, let's say Kweku, I'm so used to alcohol that every day I have to take some shots. And because of this, you just are taking off it. Some people, it's a difficult thing, and we always talk about lifestyle being something that has to go with us or, stay with us. And so for results, for me to achieve results, I can decide to go like, okay, I'm cutting it off. But later, it's easier for people to go back to it because a lifestyle thing has to be done gradually. So you give yourself some time, between 3 to 6 months. This is what I want to achieve. And I know that when we're talking about our New Year resolution as far as nutrition was concerned, Jifa mentioned it. So tell yourself that between January to June, this is what I am going to do as far as cutting down on my alcohol consumption and some of the foods we spoke about is concerned. If you are a woman within this childbearing age, so that some of the things we have to go through and treat with medicine is kind of halted a bit because some of these things we are just doing it to ourselves, and at the end of the day we need to go through the same. It's like a cycle. We just go. So we just have to make sure we avoid the extremities, like you said, if we can, or reduce it to the barest minimum.
So then let's talk about, let's move away from the pH and talk about health and say, so if somebody is maybe unwell and it's affecting, maybe it's an infection, the vagina and so on, and what are some of the things they can eat that will positively improve their vaginal health?
Okay, so it's basically everything we've spoken about, and I said even from scratch that a healthy diet is good for everybody. So yes, we all need a healthy diet. We have another example, but with a green tea, please watch it, because I remember we've spoken about green tea here. So know what you are going in for. There are lots of products on social media.
What's wrong with green tea?
I never said it was wrong, but I said that we guided as far as the choices were concerned. If you remember, we spoke about some types of green tea and its goodness, to our body. So just know what you are going for, and I will root for matcha any day. Matcha green tea, so know what you are pumping into your system and make sure that what you are getting is from a good source or an accredited source.
I can see
so we have probiotic, they help.
The
example is yogurt. So kind of fermented food products. So yogurt has to undergo fermentation. Yes, it helps with the pH of a woman as far as being healthy is concerned. So if you are unwell, if you are convalescent or an invalid, a convalescent is somebody recovering, an invalid is somebody who is sick, like you said, you can do with the probiotics and some of these food. We have apple, we have omega-3 fatty acid rich food, we have soya foods. So omega-3 fatty acid, though fish was under mild acidity, but I told you that I love the fact that it is not at the extremities like you said. Yes. So it means that if you are eating foods which are from these families, you are ensuring that your vajayjay is guarded, yes, or is protected. And some of the citric foods too, you have some research saying that it's too acidic, so it kind of will fall under the extremities. But in that sense too, in other researches too, there is support for it because it falls under fruits and vegetables, and they help. They also help with the vagina's pH.
Yes.
So yes, I like you said, avoid the extremities, but make sure you are working also with some of the good ones as far as the mild ones are concerned.
Okay.
But basically, a balanced diet sets you right.
So, I mean, I agree with the balanced diet. I'm just looking at cases where somebody's already ill, and what to take to sort of fix things.
If you are ill because let's say you had UTI,
a UTI, yes, for example,
or a condition that has affected that place, yes, or your vagina, it means that that infection will need to be treated. You don't have to depend solely on nutrition and say that I am going to do this with food, because already something has been done as far as everything about the vagina is concerned. So that infection will need to be treated. And some of the symptoms we spoke about is on the extreme with some people with like HIV patients, yes, with people with this human papilloma virus. So if it depends on the infection, it depends on your health condition. But if I have no health condition and I just had an infection or something just happened, let's say even sexual intercourse and the semen and its movement can all affect the pH of the vagina because it's more alkaline, and then women, our place tends to be more acidic. So it means that some of these things, sometimes it's difficult to play around it. But if it's an infection, then it means that it has to be treated first before you think of protecting that place or aiding the healing as far as the place is with nutrition.
Before we wrap up, tell us about cranberry juice. Because I've heard
it's very good. I didn't bring it here. I didn't mention it because I thought Jifa was going to do it. She would go like, what the local substitute for cranberry juice.
But we do have cranberry juice available.
If you can find it, it's also good. It's very, very good. Cranberry juice, apple, it's all very good. Like I said, the only reason why I took it off is that Jifa told me, it's easy for some people to find it, and you know that we want everybody
can get apples here
to benefit. So make do with what you have. If you have what you spoke about, cranberry juice, it's awesome. If you have apples, it's okay. If you have pineapples, they are okay. But don't be munching on one specific food. It is very, very important for us to make sure we have a variety. We have variety as far as our food intake, our fruit intake is concerned. So the citric family, you can have tangerine, you can have pineapple, you can have oranges. They will all serve you same goodness, but they are different. So if today I'm going for cranberry juice, tomorrow I can decide to go for an orange, which will also serve not just my vagina, but other parts of my body, some amount of goodness too.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Akosia Kunedu
Thank you.
has been speaking to us about the diets that we need to have to make sure that the vagina is kept healthy for both regular health and then also childbearing, to make sure that your pH balance is correct and that you help yourself in terms of the childbearing process. Well, thank you very much for speaking to us, Akosia.
Pay app. More social, more power, more services. Experience a cooler way of payments with exciting new features. Want to go social? Upload a cool image to add a personal feel to your account. Payments are even more seamless with an enhanced process. Mark some accounts as favorites so they are super easy to access. Even cooler, view payment due dates and check remaining balances for your favorite accounts. Want to repeat a payment? Do that right from the History tab. Have all your money in one place with a sleek look and feel. Bank Direct has had an awesome makeover. You can now send money instantly to 22 banks and counting. Express Pay, payments simplified.
Ghana is a beautiful country. There is so much of it you probably haven't seen, haven't experienced, haven't touched, haven't felt, haven't eaten. When this is all over, let's discover our land again with new eyes. Let's feel each other again. We are one people, brought together by destiny. Let's make that count. Let's show love for each other and our environment. Let's tell our stories, and let's watch and listen to our stories. There will be so much to tell. Ghana is a truly beautiful country. Be Ghana, stay in Ghana, experience Ghana, make Ghana great. And we will invite the world to come and experience Ghana too. But for now, stay home. Brought to you by the National Film Authority. Supports the Stay Home and Discover Ghana Later campaign. This channel supports the campaign.
God bless our homeland,
Imagine if you can get all the understanding on some of the difficult subjects you struggle with in school. As a student, do you feel dissatisfied with how hard it is to figure out a subject you're learning? Or as a parent or guardian, do you worry that your child is struggling to understand some of the subjects in school? Well, now you don't need to sign up for extra lessons or tutors. Simply tune in to Class Act, Mondays to Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. on City TV. Class Act is a show that seeks to enable senior high school students gain a much better understanding of what they learn in school. All you need is a TV, a chair, your notebook, and your pen. Get clarity on subjects such as maths, English, IT, and science. Class Act airs every Monday to Thursday at 5:30 p.m. on City TV on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182. Don't forget your pens, pencils, and your notebooks and tune in to Class Act, only on City TV.
Welcome to Entertainment Highlights on Breakfast Daily. I am Ato Kwamina. Rapper Medical says he does not have the luxury of time to reply at this song because he is focusing on his wife, family, and how to entertain fans. A few days ago, Eno Baroni replied Sister Efia with arguments done on which she threw some jabs at Medical. Eno claims Medical wrote a beef song which Sister Efia used to diss the female acts in the industry a few weeks ago. In an interview on TV3, Medical stated that he had no idea that Eno had mentioned him in any song and that he had no intentions to reply to her. The level I am now, I'm trying to focus on my wife and family, and I'm trying to entertain my fans as well, so I'm not into fetching insults and stuff, he noted. According to him, he will only engage in lyrical battles that will bring him money. In what appears to be a season of musical battles, Ghanaian dancehall artist AK Songstress has also expressed willingness to engage in a beef. According to the artist, who appeared on Sammy Flex Showbiz Daily, noted that she loved to be challenged and that lyrical beef is good for the industry. Beefs are good. Even me, if I get someone to beef with, I will, but there is no one, she said. If I get a competent person, someone who is at the level of my standard, I would want to have that battle with her, she added. In the meantime, she is out with a new song that features Ifia. Moving away from musical battles in Ghana to the United States of America, John Legend, in a recent appearance on Nick Cannon's Power 106 radio show, expressed his appreciation for the Instagram live series in which artists, producers and songwriters go hit for hit in front of a worldwide audience. Nick Cannon said it was only a matter of time before Legend participated in a battle and suggested he go against Alicia Keys. I think that will probably be the best thing. And honestly, I think we'll do it if we did it. Like a dual piano thing. I think we will. But what I do love about the way Versus has been going so far is we are seen as producers and writers more than just artists. Versus was launched by Timbaland and Alicia Keys' husband Swissbeat in late March as a way to provide some entertainment during the coronavirus lockdown. And that's all for entertainment highlights for Breakfast Daily.
So that was the entertainment highlights, and welcome back to the show. We've had Luigi Maclean with us all morning, and we're going to learn a bit about him. This is your first time hearing of him, which I doubt. I mean, we all saw him in the Bononia video with Joe Mettel. He has 2 singles out. He'll tell us all about them as well as what we should expect of him this year. If you have any questions for him, let us know with the hashtag Breakfast Daily and our line 0550-585-832, and I'll do well to ask him. If you're outside Ghana, use the country code +233 to reach us directly. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you adapting to this new normal of COVID-19?
Well, it's been interesting, but I think in anything negative, you can be able to find something positive. So I think one thing positive that I've found in this moment is bonding with family.
Yeah.
And I think it's been a great feeling.
Nice. What kinds of things have you guys been doing to keep your mind off all the paranoia?
Just spending time together.
Okay.
Spending time is priceless. So we have the chance to spend time.
Yeah.
But we even though we're spending time, we do pray that this whole thing will go away.
Yeah, because we miss being out.
I know.
Now, a lot of us know you as a musician, but tell us a bit about you beyond music.
Well, I am. It's always a bit difficult when I get this question, but let me try. Luigi Maclean is the name, and I went to Mfanspim.
Okay.
SHS, the school. Let me be quick to add that. And then tech.
Okay. What did you study at tech?
Geography and rural development.
Wow. Why geography and rural development?
I love geography.
What did you like about it?
I mean, it's interesting for me.
Okay.
The having to learn about new places, countries, is interesting.
Yeah.
And I think the rural bit of it, I've always had this thing about helping out, humanitarian stuff. And so I think I found that I was more interested in that course, so I had to do it.
Wow. And how was your general uni experience like?
It was interesting. I think I did less of studying and more of music.
Why?
It just happened. I mean, I think music is a calling. It's a calling. Then I didn't take it too seriously. It was more like a hobby.
Yeah.
But as time went on, I think God in his own way was directing me towards this moment.
Wow.
And I'm glad he did.
When did you discover you had this gift?
When I was young.
What happened?
I was singing. I mean, I've been singing ever since I was young. And it's natural. It just comes naturally. But like I said, it's always been a hobby. I remember back then, whenever there was doom, so back then it was light off. I mean, we gather around our parents and we sing together. I actually came from a singing family. So
okay.
it's been interesting.
How was that like, all of you singing together?
It was beautiful. I mean, it helped to bond. It made us bond. It was a beautiful feeling. I mean, you forget about the light off, you just sing and sing and sing. And It's awesome.
And at what point did you say, okay, I'm not going to treat this as a hobby anymore, I'm actually going to perfect it as a calling?
Back in university.
Okay.
I happened to join Harvest Chapel Choir.
Okay.
And I became the MD. Sorry. And it became a serious deal for me because then not just music, but then my relationship with God became something that was more than what I used to know. You know, so just as I was growing in relationship with him, I was getting closer and closer in purpose, I believe. So that was it for me.
Wow. And then how did you end up with all these collaborations you've done over the years?
It's God's own doing. It's God's own doing. In His own time, He makes all things beautiful. It's God's own doing.
Wow. But what have you learned from them, the various artists you've worked with?
So much. But the one thing that stands out for me is service. Because these are people who all served.
Yeah.
And I believe they are where they are now because of the service they rendered to someone. And so I think that's something I've learned, and that's something I'm doing now.
Okay.
That's something I'll forever preach if anyone should ask me. Service.
How do you do that practically for the up-and-coming musicians who are watching us and are, collaborating with someone? Perhaps they are frustrated, they want to hit it big immediately. What advice would you give them?
I would say it's time. I mean, it's a process, it's a journey, like I say every time. You can't start from 1 and move straight to 100. It's a journey, it's a step by step. There are things you would have to learn. And the simplest way to greatness is service.
How?
I mean, it's mentioned in the Bible. Jesus spoke about it. He said, for anyone who wants to be great, first serve.
Okay.
Because I've come to realize that in service, you get to learn a lot of things that under normal circumstances you might not have known. Because let's say, for instance, me serving under Joe Metal, there's a lot of things I learned from him, even without him saying it verbally. I get to watch him and learn a few things. And that's the importance of service.
Wow. And how do you apply it to yourself as an artist?
Well, because I've seen the effects, I've seen how well it's, let me say, positively affected him. It's easy for me to also do same for myself. Oh, sorry.
I think we can excuse your mask, please. Take your mask off because you're struggling. It's all right. I have mine on, so you're fine.
I'm fine. I mean, I sang without it, so.
It's okay, but guys, if you have any questions for him beyond the mask struggles we've been facing, let us know with the hashtag Breakfast Daily and the WhatsApp line 0550 585 If you're outside Ghana, the country code is +233. Now talk to us about the Bononi experience.
That experience was out of this world. It was amazing. I mean, it started from a rehearsal, one of our rehearsals towards Joe's main event, and that happens every year. That's Praise Reloaded. And so we started the rehearsal towards the event. I think when it was getting closer to the day of the event, one of the rehearsals, he just walked to me and told me, okay, learn and go and learn the lead, the second part of this song. You'll be doing it with me. I mean, I didn't have any idea that was going to happen.
Wow.
I had no idea.
So how did you feel when he said that?
I would say it was like I think I was blank for a while because I didn't expect it. And I'm like, wow, Praise Reloaded, that's such a huge stage.
Yeah.
And funny enough, I mean, God works in amazing ways. Around that moment, that was like one of the lowest moments of my life.
Really?
Yes,
What was going on?
Well, there was some confusion here and there.
Wow.
If you know about purpose and everything.
Identity.
But I think God had his own plan.
So how did you step up to that moment?
I just had to step up.
No, because you're feeling down, so many things are not going right, and then you get this thing dropped on
this thing is a
lap.
gift. It's a gift, so the power doesn't come from me, it comes from God. So whenever there is necessity for that gift, I believe he grants that power. So that's just it.
How did you prepare? Because that's hard work in it. You didn't just go to sleep.
There were a lot of mirror moments. A lot of mirror moments. I mean, I just did a lot of rehearsals and practicing on my own.
Wow.
And
then on the final.
And on the final day, it happened. it was a beautiful moment. I can never forget that day. I always say that God gave Bononi to Joe as a gift, but I gave it to him with me in mind.
Aww.
It's been an amazing blessing.
Wow.
Amazing blessing.
And now you're out as an artist in your own right. Why now?
Like I said, it's time. Everything pointed to this moment. Everything. It's like God was just setting up things for this moment. And when it got to that point, you will know. I mean, you will just know that it's time. So it got to this moment, I knew it was time. So I just had to.
How do you transition? How was that transition like?
It's it's interesting because it's like going from, you feel like you know, but you are going into the unknown.
Yeah.
But it's also like a place of discovery, because I believe as people, as humans, as people created in the image of God, there's a lot of things that God has dropped inside of us. There are a lot of abilities, but we don't know till, let's say, we encounter things in life. So I feel it's been like a process of discovery for me. I've discovered things I didn't know I had.
What's the biggest thing you've discovered about yourself?
The biggest thing, I can do anything through Christ who strengthens me. Anything through Christ who strengthens me.
That's a powerful discovery. Let's talk about your two singles. Oguama first.
Yeah.
What's the story behind Oguama?
Well, Oguama came from the book of Revelations. It's an inspiration from the book of Revelations, chapter 5. And I think the verse 13 captures the heart of the song, I believe, where it says that all creation in heaven and on earth and beneath the earth, and such as are in the sea and all in them, heard I say, blessing and honor and glory and power be unto him who sits on the throne and unto the Lamb. So it's just a song of adoration and honor to the Lamb that was slain before the foundation of the world.
Now, we all read verses, but we are not able to create a full-blown track out of this. So what was that process like, and the collaboration as well?
It started with a melody.
Okay.
I think, it started with a prayer. I told God, I remember I prayed some time back that God should bless me with a worship song that everyone can sing along to. And not long after that, a month or two, I got a melody.
Wow.
The melody, Asafu Yehovah Udinriye, I want word you the verse. And so I had to build on from there.
Wow.
And this is how it ended.
Okay, we'll come back to Amazing God. Tell us about Amazing God.
That was the debut. That was my debut single, and that simply came from looking around. I mean, I feel like you find God in everything. When you look at the trees, when you look at the sea, when you look at people around you. I think God deliberately left himself in everything so that you wouldn't have any doubt that he is God and he made all things. So looking at things, walking around everyday life, seeing things, it inspired me that, wow, you see an ant and God can tell you can go to the ant and learn wisdom. The ant knows seasons and times and knows that I have to save for this time. Animals know they have to hibernate for some time. It's amazing. So when I look at that, I'm like, Lord, you made all these things. You are an amazing God.
Wow. All right, we'll take a look at the Oguama music video. But before we do, emoji. How did that collaboration happen?
Funny enough, it wasn't, when the song started, the process started, it wasn't going to be a collabo. Well, I didn't think, I had in mind that, okay, this was going to be another single that I'll do.
Yeah.
But along the line, as the song developed, it sounded like something that MOG will sound amazing on.
Wow.
So I think we just had to listen to that inspiration, I believe, and then we called him, and he was.
And it's just
he
beautiful.
was amazing, I tell you.
I mean, all morning we've been playing it, and once our viewers listen, they'll be addicted. I mean, right now we need some music for our souls. So thank you for bringing these two up. What more should we expect of you this year?
All the singles are actually leading up to an album.
Nice. So are you releasing 2 each month, or you won't let us?
Cool down for me.
Why?
It's going to happen.
Naturally.
I don't want to cram everything and throw it all on. So
okay, so just be, but don't be like Kujenshi and we hear one and then
the Lord will do his thing. Don't
okay. When we follow your social media, subscribe to your channels, buy your music, actually buy the songs, guys. Tell us all where we can get.
Well,
your
the song
singles.
is out on all digital stores.
Okay.
And it's on YouTube, it's on Spotify, iTunes, Deezer, Tidal, Amazon, all the digital stores.
Nice.
But if you want to follow me on social media, it's at Luigi Maclean on Instagram, Luigi Maclean Facebook, at Luigi Maclean Twitter.
Thank you very much, Luigi Maclean. Any words of inspiration for us as we, wrap up?
Well, I would say that we're in hard times, we're in difficult times, but we have a God who's able to do. He says he can do exceedingly abundantly, far more than you could ask or think. So hang on him and look to this God, and he will come to your aid. God bless you.
Thank you very much. It looks like our viewers have more questions for you, so please. Medmark says, okay, I'll ask you all and you answer them. Please ask Luigi Maclean his biggest achievement in the industry. Another person says, ask for his YouTube handle so that we can follow him. Will you still be working with Joe Metal now that you are a single artist? And yeah.
Yes, let me go to the Joe Metal. I still work with Joe. I'm still his backing vocalist.
Nice.
I believe there's still a lot more to learn.
And then your YouTube handle.
Luigi Maclean.
Your biggest achievement in the industry.
Biggest achievement. This is difficult. Let me see. My biggest achievement in the industry. I think
the best is yet to come.
Yeah. But I mean, for now, I think my biggest achievement is. This is difficult. I would say relationship.
Relationship? Yeah. How?
I mean, through my gift, I've been able to get to know people, like people, amazing people, like Joe Metal, like OJ, like the people you mentioned.
Yeah.
And I think that has really helped me. Yes.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you. Let's take a look at Guama, Luigi Maclean, and MOG.
Yeah.
Yehovah within Rie, how I'm with you, to Mira, I want in Niniti, Ewuti Mire, and Kwa Udin Mo, Asumji.
Beautiful music by Luigi Maclean. I like that interview.
Oh, really? Yeah,
yes, I enjoyed that. Yeah. I enjoyed that.
And I like what he said about relationships. You know, that's something we take for granted a lot of the times.
Yeah.
Build those relationships.
Well, This afternoon we do have the COVID special coverage for you at 3 p.m. You don't want to miss that. Okay.
Definitely. And at 5:30 we have class act. Okay, so get the kids, family members, everyone should get on board and make studying fun. You know, you're going to learn new things and you can quiz each other on who gets the questions right on class act.
Yes. And don't forget, when you're stepping out, wear your masks. It's very important, okay?
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Just don't forget it. I mean, we can't say it too much, all right? I think it's very important because, you see, the numbers, the spikes that people have seen in other countries because they stepped out, think that, look, it's done.
Fine.
Let's just go. I think part of human beings that all detriment if we do so. It's important to follow the protocol there, making sure you have hand sanitizer at all times is important.
Yes. And a belated Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, okay?
Absolutely.
We wouldn't be here without you, literally. But to all the sacrifices you've made, commitment, believing in us when no one else believed in us, when we didn't even believe in ourselves. We appreciate you, we love you, and we're glad to have you in our lives.
Yeah. All right, so we'll leave them in the hands of
Luigi Maclean. But don't forget, if you're just joining us, our YouTube page is
City
Tube.
Yeah.
So you can go on there. You can also go to Luigi Maclean's. More of his music. Okay, subscribe. Because those 2 singles are amazing. And
absolutely.
He's going to bring more throughout the year. That's my own little pressure that I'm sprinkling.
Oh, really?
There. I mean, yes, he has to do more. Well, I love this, though.
Pressure.
Healthy pressure.
Well, okay, fair enough.
Very, very healthy pressure, guys. And again, you have to be careful, okay? A lot of the people who have come out positive are mainly asymptomatic, okay? So that means David might think, I'm negative because clearly I'm not coughing, I'm not sneezing, I'm not doing anything, but I could be positive. Then I pass it on to him. He may not have the strong immune system that I do, so then it would really affect him. So let's all err on the side of
caution.
Yes, positive, but not showing symptoms, as opposed to the illusion that we are negative. That's
then also, you know, there's this thing where people wear masks and they do this. And you're walking around like this.
Because they say they're covering their mouth.
Yeah, you're covering your mouth. No, please, this is useless. Okay? Please, you might as well not be wearing a mask if you're going to walk around like this.
Yeah.
All right? The whole idea is to filter the air that's entering your body. That's the whole idea of the mask. So please, and of course, I'm not supposed to be touching the front of my mask. I've been in the studio the entire time. Hopefully, nobody here has it.
Yes.
So I haven't infected myself.
Yes.
But I'm going to go and clean my hands.
Luigi Maclean,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen, let's enjoy him.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, I'm Ayan Bior. COVID-19 has dominated national and international headlines for months.
And hello from me, Heidi Adams Fitzpatrick. This week, we bring you stories from across the African continent and around the world as nations and communities try to cope with the challenges and changes brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic. And we're going to show you how some are doing that with heroism and heart, and how some are doing it with humor.
And the Voice of America has been there since the beginning, bringing you the latest news and development to keep you informed. Hello, I'm Orion Itangishaka.
This week, we bring you stories of innovation, of endurance, and of African ingenuity.
But first, VOA's health correspondent Lenore Madu has the latest development.
Thanks, Oriane. 4 months after the first case of COVID-19 was recorded in China, the number of infections underscore a sobering reality. Parts of Europe and the United States have been hit by the disease, particular cruelty. Meanwhile, the number of infections in Africa seems to be slowly ramping up. According to the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, as of May 7th, there are at least 50,000 confirmed cases of the novel coronavirus on the continent. Among all countries, South Africa, Morocco, Egypt, and Algeria have been taking the biggest hit. Experts say those numbers will likely continue to rise as some countries in sub-Saharan Africa have decided to lift some lockdown restrictions designed to slow down the spread of the outbreak. This week, some South Africans describe joy and fear as they return to work on Monday. Nigeria also joined the team to ease some lockdown measures to reduce damage to the economy. On the bright side, countries are actively seeking alternative measures to fight the